mask, face shield, and social distancing. This is now the new normal. How can we live normally when people are socially distanced? Why is it important for people to understand the situational context of the speech they are delivering?
How's the new normal situation to you? The way we greet our classmates and friends has totally changed. From shaking of hands to just a wink of an eye or just touching the elbow part. Imagine a president or a high-ranking official wearing a face mask during his or her public speech. Is it awkward? Since we need social interaction, being with people in a particular event is part of our nature. This is what we are going to discuss, particularly on the types of speech content.
Good day everyone! I am teacher Leriedel and I am teacher Dayat, and now we are going to discuss about the 4 various types of speech context.
Our learning objectives is first, define speech context. Second, is employ appropriate verbal and non-verbal behavior in different speech contexts. And third, perform at least one various types of speech context.
Let me test your memory. Can you still recall our previous lesson? Yes, we discussed about the strategies to avoid communication breakdown. What are those strategies? We discussed about the 7 C's. I'll give you a quiz. You're going to identify the 7 C's, but I will only give you 5 questions through these jumbled letters. First word. When a message is supported by facts. What is it? Concreteness. Second, when we use simple and specific words to express. Clearness. Third word, when we want to include all information before sending the message. Wow, completeness. The fourth word is when we show respect to one's culture, beliefs, values. Wow, courtesy. The fifth word is when we want to keep the message short and direct. Conciseness. Great job, students. Let me start our lesson discussion by showing you pictures and numbers. As you can see, we have pictures and there are also numbers on the left side. What do they represent? You try to guess. What picture best illustrates number 1? How about number 2? For picture 3, how about picture 4? Oh, is it obvious that picture 1 represents number 1? Picture 2, so it is number 5. For picture 3, it represents hundreds. And picture 4 could be thousands. Why do we think about numbers? Because these numbers represent the number of people involved in the different types of speech contexts. How many do you think are the types of speech contexts? Oh, there are 4 major types.
Context is a situation that brings people in conversation or speaking event. It refers to first, the person speaking or the source of the information. The second is the situation itself, the events or where it takes place and occasion. The last one is the person being spoken or the receiver of the information.
Example. Hi. Long time no see.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Information, we may encounter the 4 types of speech context. It could be intrapersonal, interpersonal, public, and mass. So let's discuss first the first types of speech context, which is the intrapersonal communication. So intrapersonal communication, it centers to one person who acts both as sender and receiver of the information. So intrapersonal communication can be defined as communication with oneself, and that may include self-talk, acts of imagination and visualization, and even recall and memory, according to Maclean 2005. So for example of the situation in intrapersonal, first is the talking to self in the mirror.
Conversations in our minds are called self-talk. These internal dialogues can shape your beliefs and influence emotions and behavior.
The second is writing in your diary notebook.
Dear diary, my life is the worst. I wish I never moved to this place.
So next is the interpersonal communication. It happens between and among people who establish relationship between and among them. It categorized into two, dyads and small groups. So dyad, it is between two persons.
Example. Hi. Long time no see.
How are you?
I'm fine.
That is the dyad communication. While the small group communication, this refers to communication that involves at least 3 but not more than 12 people engaging in a face-to-face interaction to achieve a desired goal.
For example.
The next type is the public communication. The speaker presents or talks in the front of the crowded audiences driven by information or persuasion. It happens when a person or a group of people gather and start sharing information to an audience or give a presentation on certain topics to deliver a message. For example, situation is a sauna.
This is a video presentation of our President Rodrigo Duterte's 2021 State of the Nation.
The last type of speech context is the mass communication. So what is mass communication? So mass communication is a process of sharing messages or contents to a broad audience via channel. The channel is controlled by a person or a small group with a common interest.
What is mass communication?
Mass communication. Yes, I know that you know mass communication at its very simplest means putting information out there on a large scale for a wide range of people. What's changing is how the information is being communicated.
So some of the common mass communication channels are listed below, which are first, news media, second, films, third, websites, then last is blogs.
Activity. Directions. Answer the following questions. 1. Draw a concept map regarding on the types of speech context. 2. Venn diagram. Compare and contrast the interpersonal and intrapersonal. 3. In your own understanding, define mass communication. 4. Illustrate the to-self-talk. 5. Explain the types of interpersonal communication. 6. What are the difference of public and small group? 7. What is verbal and non-verbal communication in speech communication? 8. When do we call that it is a public communication? 9. How are you going to approach the mass communication? 10. In 5 sentences, write your learning on our topic discussed. Assignment. Direction. Perform at least one various types of speech context. Video yourselves performing at least one various types of speech context. It could be intrapersonal, interpersonal, public, or mass. Send your video performance on our Gmail account below. Leriedel@gmail.com, dianelabador@gmail.com. This is the criteria for your video presentation. Content 50%, clarity 20%, grammar 30%, a total of 100%.
Okay, thank you for spending your time and listening. I hope you have something to learn about our discussion.
And we hope that we see you again to our next vlog.